It's almost like eating a Christmas tree. It's not like being trapped in a big metal tube with a bunch of smokers as I over-enunciate everything for no reason. It's kind of somewhere in between like spicy food and allergic reaction. I'm done. Wow. Not too much. Good morning on this glorious Saturday morning in Southern Nevada, where it's currently 75 degrees at 9 a.m. Back there is Bailey. Not sure where Bolt is at. I'm getting a bit of a late start this morning because I had to wake up and finish my frequent reviews video and get that posted, which it has been. It's always a nice feeling to get a video out of the way and have the rest of the day free. Later on today on this channel, I'll be doing some taste tests. I've got 3 things to try out today. We'll see how they go. Now, 2 of them I got off Amazon. I'm trying to avoid just falling into the trap of just doing all the latest snack food and fast food. I like doing those, but I don't want to just do those. So I've got some weird ones from Amazon to throw in the mix as well. I was watching the news this morning, looking at all the long lines at the airport. That does not look good, man. I stopped flying a couple years ago. I just kind of, the whole flying experience just kind of soured on me. It made travel not even seem worth it sometimes. Between like the gate vultures who you just can't wait their turn, they have to crowd around the gate, to minimal bag space overhead, rowdy passengers, stinky passengers, having to sit next to someone who you probably would never want to spend any time with, cramped seats, minimal leg space. It's just not pleasant anymore. I mean, if you look back at like pictures in the 50s and 60s, now they crashed more back then, but it was a more luxurious experience. So I guess it's a trade-off. Higher chance of dying, but a better chance of having a nice experience. I remember when I flew as a teenager in the 80s, they still had smoking sections on the airplane. Like the back several rows, like 10 rows or something, would be smoking. And the worst thing is if you got the last row of the non-smoking section, it means people behind you were smoking. A good friend of mine who flew a lot one time got stuck in that last row of the non-smoking section, and the woman behind him lit up a cigarette, started smoking. So he reaches up and grabs his fan and blows it right at her. And so she's like, "Excuse me, can you not point your fan at me?" And he turns around somewhat aggressively and says, "I'll make you a deal. I'll turn my fan off if you stop smoking." Guess what? She didn't stop smoking, he didn't turn his fan off. Fortunately, they stopped that practice. Not like being trapped in a big metal tube with a bunch of smokers. But nowadays, you have all these like overworked air traffic controllers. They're starting to get like less safe. You have all these close calls and things happening. I don't know, man. I'm not really into flying anymore. Maybe they can get things figured out, but right now, they ain't figured it out. But I have mostly a free day ahead, and I'm looking forward to some taste tests a little bit later on. So let's see what else I can get up to right now. Oh great, it's that time of year again. These are always fun. All right, here we go. First taste test of the day. This is actually my warm-up taste test, my opening act. When I saw Black Sabbath in 2016, the opening band was Rival Sons. This would be the Rival Sons version of this video. Black Sabbath is coming later. Whatever I'm trying to say. Anyways, in one of my previous taste tests, I did one of the 3 Flavor Swap chips that are available. And I said if I found more, I would do them later. Well, I found more. So for my opening act taste test, I have the Doritos Flavor Swap Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream flavored. Once again, I'm not sure what the actual name, what do they call the name? Is it Doritos Flavor Swap, or is it Doritos Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream flavors? What is the name? What is the actual name? Come on. I think it's Doritos Flavor Swap. That's what I'm going to call it. So this is supposed to taste like this. So we'll see if this tastes like this. I guess it's supposed to have the same coating as the Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream on a Dorito. But let's give it a quick taste here as I over-enunciate everything for no reason. Well, it smells like Doritos. Kind of smells like Doritos. Let me take a taste. Now, I'm a big Doritos fan, man. Like I said, Cheez-Its and Doritos are certainly on my Mount Rushmore of snack foods. This has got some pretty big shoes to fill if it's going to try to compete with regular Doritos. But here we go. That's interesting. That is interesting. To me, without trying against the original, my mind is telling me it tastes like the Ruffles with the Doritos texture. Very interesting. Let's compare now. It's time for Ruffles. Let's see what we can do here. That close. I'm going to lick one of each. Ruffles first. Now Doritos. That tastes the same. That tastes the same. I was just joking around, but when you have them together and you get that Ruffles texture in there, it just tastes like Ruffles. It does not taste like a Dorito to me. The only thing it has is the Doritos texture, which honestly, I might like better. I think that flavor is right there. I think they did a good job with it. I think the flavors more closely resemble each other than the previous flavor swap that I did. It really is just about texture, and I'm kind of partial to Doritos texture, so I think if someone sent out a bag of each one of these, even though the flavor might be the same, I might pick the Doritos. They're pretty good. All right, heading back home for the main course, the main act, the main taste test. But before I get there, I want to throw a scenario at you and tell me if it's happened to you and how you handle it, because it's happened to me and I feel like no matter what I do, it's always wrong. So say someone sends you a clip of a comedian, a clip they think is funny, and you watch the clip and you're thinking, that isn't very funny. That's not funny at all, really. So then what do? What I usually do is I'll put maybe like a laughing emoji just to kind of like say, I acknowledge that you sent that to me, I acknowledge that it's supposed to be funny, without saying it ain't funny. If I say it's not funny, then somehow I feel rude. Or they try to convince you that it's funny. It's like you didn't get the joke or something. So usually what I do is I put the laughing emoji, but then because you hit the laughing emoji, they think you thought it was funny and they keep sending more. So then what do? So then you're getting flooded by all these dumb comedian clips you don't find are funny. Really? Oh, you are not next. You are not next. Not only has that happened to me before, but because I did the laughing emojis, I got invited to see the comedian live. And I didn't even think they were funny. So I had to finally say, I don't really think the person's that funny. Sometimes you try to be nice and it ends up backfiring. So maybe sometimes it's just better off just saying, you know what, that's not very funny. Don't send me more of that person, they're not funny at all. Usually what I'll do is if they keep sending more of that same comedian, I just won't acknowledge it at all. If they ask, then I'll be like, you know what, I don't think it's funny. If that's happened to you guys, what have you done? Do you tell them up front it's not funny, or you just kind of play along until they push it too far? All right, it's time for the next freaking 2 taste test. Today I've got some weird ones for you. These 2 came from Amazon and they're not new, but they look pretty interesting, so I want to try them out. We have Tingly Peanuts and Candied Young Pine Cones. I'm not sure what either one of these is going to taste like. I guess candied pine cones would be more like a dessert. We'll try that last. So we're going to go with the Tingly Peanuts first. Reviews are pretty positive for them. Now it says it's powered by? It says it's powered by Sichuan pepper. I guess I don't think I've ever tried it before, but supposedly it makes your tongue tingly and has a spiciness to it. And first time ever trying that, so kind of curious. Let's see what the label says here. Ingredients: premium peanuts, green Sichuan pepper oil, red Sichuan pepper, green Sichuan pepper. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I apologize if I am. It says when you eat it, your lips and tongue are going to start to buzz with a tingling sensation. Slowly at first, and it gets stronger. Okay, the instructions say shake before snacking. I don't think I've ever had to shake my peanuts before eating them first. That's kind of weird. Shaking your peanuts first? Interesting. That was a bad idea. If this came off, they'd be everywhere. All right, so they are shook up. It says enjoy with a cold beverage. I have a nice gas station soda here, hanging off in the wings in case this is bad. They look like nondescript peanuts. Smell them. There's a different smell in there. I'm not sure what that smell is. There's something kind of different in there. Let's just take one first. I'm going to start off with one and work my way up. My first tingling peanut. A little spicy. There's a spiciness to it. Much more kick than I expected. I ate it on the right side of my mouth. The right side of my mouth is kind of hot right now. My OCD is telling me to try the left side next. It's an interesting flavor. It's not a flavor I can say I've had before. They are spicy though. I don't know if I get a tingling sensation yet, but that supposedly comes later. I'm gonna keep eating them. Now inside, there seems to be some sort of a pepper in there. I probably should eat that, shouldn't I? That pepper exploded with flavor. Exploded. The flavor is interesting. I'm enjoying it, but it's interesting. Should I be eating this much? I don't even know. Maybe I should wait. I think it's kind of hard to tell the difference between tingling and just plain hot because the back of my mouth is hot. It is a weird hot though. I'm not sure I really like that weird hot. Do I like it? Oh, on the can here, it says bite the peppers for extra numbing. Let me find some peppers in there. Oh, there's some peppers. I'm gonna bite these peppers. Those peppers that's a strong flavor. Oh wow, okay, I'm done. Wow, that's too much. Oh yeah. Oh, my tongue's not numb. That's weird, man. It's like hot and numb at the same time. Whoa, I'm tapping out of this one, man. I feel like I'm sweating. My tongue is numb. My mouth is hot. I think that last pepper did it for me, man. I'm kind of sweating. I'm gonna say it's a good novelty, some good flavor, but if you eat that pepper by itself, you're in for a ride you may not like, and you have to just kind of wait it out. And right now, I'm waiting it out. Because right now, I'm kind of hot. My mouth's kind of hot and tingly. Once my mouth subsides, we'll move on to the next round. My tongue's kind of calmed down a little bit. That was kind of somewhere in between like spicy food and allergic reaction. I'm not sure I like that much. I'll eat the peanuts, but I'm gonna skip the peppers next time. Woo, don't know about that. But let's move on to the dessert here, which would be the candied young pine cones. According to people on Amazon, either you're gonna love them or hate them. There's no in between. Now this was 20 bucks for this little package of them. And just looking at them inside the package, they look like blackberries. Let's crack these open here. Actually, first, let's look at the packaging. Soft and fully edible, unique taste and health benefits. 100% natural and wild. Shelf life 2 years. When does it expire? Expires in 27. Okay, we got some time. The email address is in Russia, so maybe that's all I need to know about this. All right, let's take these out of here. All right, they're actually mini pine cones. That's what they look like. They look like mini pine cones, and they feel like there's some sort of a coating on them. I guess that's the candied part. I smell some pine in there, and it's something else. Here we go. What the? Oh. All right. The first thing you get is a big rush of pine flavor. It's almost like eating a Christmas tree. Then there's a soft texture, almost like biting into like a fig Newton. And then there's that candy flavor kind of comes in afterwards, and it kind of tastes pleasant. But that pine flavor at first is a bit off-putting. It almost tastes like something you have at Christmas time. And there's a bit of a bitter aftertaste too. That's a very complex flavor. Not necessarily in a good way. Pine, candy, bitter aftertaste. Never had anything that tastes like that before. There's some familiar things in there, but in a whole new way. I'm not even really sure I like it or not. It's not terrible. The people that said you'll either love it or hate it, I don't agree. I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of like some parts of it, but I'm not sure I like the overall thing. It's like the sum is lesser than its parts. So to recap, the tingly nuts, I would avoid those peppers because they were kind of weird. Candied pine cones, they're interesting, worth a try, but I'm not sure I'll get them again. Now I think it's time for me to eat something normal because my taste buds don't know what just happened. And with that, back to the vlog. 3 p.m. check-in. With my lunch, I had some more of those peanuts and I had some more of the Doritos. Now the Doritos, I actually enjoyed. I finished the whole bag. I'm not saying I would pick those over other flavors, but when they're there, I did like them. Now the peanuts, on the other hand, the more I have those, the less I like them. I'm not huge on the taste, and that sensation is so weird. It's like what I imagine the taste of an allergic reaction being. If you can imagine what an allergic reaction tastes like, that's what it is. I was even checking myself to make sure I wasn't having an allergic reaction. It's a weird sensation. I don't think I really like it. Unfortunately, I have 2 cans of them, and I don't know if I'm gonna finish them or not. I might end up just tossing them, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll grow on me, but I doubt it. And I got the dogs right here. The dogs are always nearby. I don't have a whole lot else left on my agenda for today. At some point, I need to deal with those weeds. As you can see, they're dying. So now I just got a bunch of dead weeds out there. Are dead weeds worse than regular weeds? Oh, Bailey just saw a lizard. Bailey saw a lizard, now she's all excited. And Bailey, what are you doing? Where's the lizard? Where's the lizard? Bailey, you got stuff in your hair. What is all that? Bailey, oh man. By the way, for those of you who aren't in my Discord, why aren't you in my Discord? But no, seriously, if those of you who I have not told already, Bolt's DNA tests came back, and his top 3 breeds are Siberian Husky, about 45%, Chihuahua 12%, and then I think German Shepherd was next at around 8 or 9%. One of my 2 guesses was a Shepherd Husky mix. Nobody foresaw Chihuahua in there anywhere, so that's kind of a surprise. But if you want to see the full report, JC Klein has a video on that. I will link that below. Someone said I should do a DNA test on Bailey. I'm like, 100% golden retriever? Probably. I know at some point I've said that I'm very phase oriented. I kind of go through these phases. I also have these recurring phases. One of the recurring phases I sometimes go through, which I just completed another round of those, is the controversy of Big Bank Hank's rhymes in Rapper's Delight and how he borrowed them from Grandmaster Caz and didn't give him credit. I've probably watched every interview regarding that 4 or 5 times. I don't know why I keep going down that same rabbit hole, but it always fascinates me. Another rabbit hole I go down sometimes are 70s variety shows, because most of them are pretty bad and unwatchable, but some of them are so bad they become kind of funny. The best one is that Brady Bunch Variety Hour, I think it was called. If you've never watched that, you've got to check it out. It's funny because it's so incredibly cheesy, so incredibly cringy, and a couple of the members, I would say Greg Brady and Mr. Brady, are so into it, and the others seem like they're some cross between lost or completely mortified. But if you ever want to see a really bad variety show, you gotta check it out. And while you're at it, you can also check out the Star Wars Christmas special and Kiss Meets Phantom of the Park while you're at it. And on a semi-related note would be the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie, which somehow they took one of the greatest albums of all time and made it into one of the worst movies of all time. Why I keep revisiting those things, I don't know, but I always do. Well, that's about it for another day. You know, I'm a big fan of Reddit, and there was a question on there recently. Someone asked something along the lines of, what is something you learned as you got older that you didn't know when you were younger? And the top comment was something along the lines of, nobody really cares about you. Now, I'm not sure I really believe that. I do think people do care about you. But the take on it that I have is that we're all stars of our own movie, and from a perspective nobody else will ever see but us. So nobody really knows you deep down inside like you know yourself. So people care about you, but they care about the person that they see, maybe not the person that you are deep down. Does that negate them caring for you? Probably not. But we're all a little bit different inside than people see us. Some of us more than others. But on that note, I think I'm done. I'm gonna finish editing this vlog and I'm gonna call it a day. It was a pretty good day from my end, and I hope you had a good one too whenever you're watching this. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.